Welcome to Bridgeburner 412 plays Nioh 2. All right. So I have a good friend, and he told me there were some kiddos who wanted to see what Nioh 2 was all about. They are gamers and wanted to kind of dip their toe into something a little bit different, a little bit away from the Soulsborne universe. So we're going to just get a new one started up here. You know, I've often been asked what one of my favorite games is, and this is always in the running for number one. I mean, this is an extraordinary game. It helps if you like Japanese folklore and the Sengoku period of Japanese history. I'll shut up here while the story's being laid out here for us a bit.
ひどい目にあってからは人々を襲い始め、ついには鬼と呼ばれました。そこである若者が鬼に立ち向かいます。若者は黄金色の石をたくさん集め、キラキラと光り輝く不思議な刀を手に入れました。そして誰も倒せなかった鬼をその刀で切りました。鬼を殺した若者はその刀を残し、
Yeah. I should probably tell you there's a bit of violence in this game. If that isn't immediately obvious to you. So obviously the game has all the tropes.
もうかように大きくなったか。
はい。どのような子が生まれてくるのやら。この未来は限りなく広がっておりますれば。
Okay, so here's character formation, and I have I've gone ahead and made a character. It's going to be our dude. I'm going to change the name though, because I don't care for this business. How do I get rid of that? Oh, I think I have to use the keyboard actually. I am playing on PC, in case anybody is wondering. And we'll just See, I've already got a bridge burner 412 up there. But we're going to make another one. It's going to start today. He's going to be born today. So, we're going to apply the appearance. Yes. And back we go. And there are a couple things I want to make sure that I change. So, I'm going to try to find it in the, in here, but I don't think I'm going to see it here. One. We'll go outdoors morning. How about that? Outfit default. Nope. I have no codes. There is something I need to fix. And I'm not sure where to find it. I will be strong. I will be very strong. So I put it up for a vote, and it was reported to me that the way the vote went was essentially what the weapon was going to be. And the Kusarigama like blew away every other weapon option in the game. But we're going to play with Kusarigama for sure, but we need a secondary weapon. So I'm going to use the spear as a secondary weapon, just because there is a stat that will pair with our Kusarigama. And the spear obviously is good for range. The Kusarigama is more of like a up close and personal, in your face, smash you in the skull with a big old heavy metal weight. It's gonna make me do all this stuff. And knock you unconscious kind of stuff. So we are going to we're gonna go with the Kusarigama. Hi. There we go. Which is basically this thing. So you can swing it out pretty wide. And then as your skills get better, as you build your skills, it can get a lot better. For those of you who are coming from like the Soulsborne universe or Elden Ring, the difference between this, well, there are many differences between this game and the Soulsborne. Number one is that the combat is immensely faster. So I'm going to be trying to bring you through here. So as with my other sort of things, is to experience the game with you all and have you take this game on and figure out if it's something you want to do. As we're going through here, I hope you will learn to love the game as much as I do. It's a lot of fun. So glad to have you along for the ride. So I chose here a Brute. Now, eventually, there are 3 different types of yokai shift forms, and this dude is a little more for the magic-oriented build, and then this dude is for the heart build, which we would ultimately want. But if you're just starting, Brute is the way to go, because your burst counters, which you're going to see as we start playing the game, are going to be a big deal. So it's the most forgiving of the burst counters. Eventually, we'll probably go in the Phantom Realm, which is much more like a parry in Soulsborne games. So the timing is a lot more specific. Toyotomi Horiosi, the man who achieved no small triumph in bringing unity to this nation, was born in a poor village in a time of civil strife, but was blessed with a shrewd mind and the courage needed to overcome adversity. Louis Froid, History of Japan. So Brute is the way to go if you are trying to pick up the game and get the burst counters down. And then eventually you can evolve to the other 2 phantoms. The feral phantom is the toughest one. So here's us. So you can see by the eyeballs, there's something a little bit different about us than your average everyday schmo. Of course, that's a letter in the Japanese style of folding. All right, so this is kind of our hub for this first area. Every area will have a starting point. So we're going to start there first. We will go over these various things as we go along, but I do want to kind of dip into the game as quickly as possible here. But I will collect my boons. Of course, you know, if I'm going to know I'm going to play a game, and I knew I was going to play this game to death, you know, I always go with collector's edition, so you get lots of stuff. You know, it's okay for a while, but, you know, eventually you out-level it almost immediately, but it's nice to start with anyway. So we will set this stuff up. So the first thing we're going to do is we're going to move the elixir down to the bottom here, because that's where that should go, because that is how I was trained. And we're going to flip it up here. Get our better Kusarigama. Essentially, the game is built like a looter. It's kind of like a looter game. We got the Valve helmet. It's like a Valve. It looks like a Valve. So, but nothing else we can put on. We're going to be primarily a light weight build. So if you look up there in the middle, it says 44.5%. Our weight can never go above 70%. Otherwise, we start really fat rolling. And like with similar to Soulsborne games, you're not fat rolling. You never fat roll. That's noob central. And we're not going to be noobs. So there we go. All right, so we're just going to jump in and start this mission. So combat, again, is extremely quick. It is, you're switching, you have light attacks and heavy attacks, but you're also switching stances. So you'll see there on the right, I'm in high stance right now. Now I'm in mid stance and low stance. So the high stance hits harder, but goes slower. The low stance goes faster, but hits lighter. And then the mid stance is between both of them. So that's how it works. And we're already getting a level. Isn't that nice? We're going to get 1,000,000 levels. So that's kind of how it works. We're going to dump some into heart here, because that gives your key bar. That's correlates to stamina in a regular game. So you need to have some key in order to be attacking. So dexterity is going to be our main stat that we're going to pump, but we're going to pump some heart here first. Constitution is going to be important. Constitution is where you get your health pool from. And every weapon has a different set of, and like if you see here, dexterity on the bottom there, it says effects, effectiveness, and capacity of your ninjutsu, which is our ninja kind of skills, and items. And the weapons mainly affected are the Kusarigama. So that's what we're using. So that's why we have a plus there. Oh, I forgot to put the, let's add the point in. There we go. Okay. All right, so we're ready to start our adventure. And it's essentially a looter. Like all of this stuff that we're picking up is not fixed. It is a random roll. Some enemies will have things that are fixed. I am going to put the stones on, because that will help us start to build up our ninja skills, so we get points in ninjutsu. So you might have noticed there that I flipped between. Why do I just get the stuff, man? It flipped between high stance and low stance. There's a way to flip your stances in the middle, especially in the middle of attack. So it's effective to be switching between your stats or between your stances as you go. So this is a Gozuki, and you're not supposed to fight him right now. In fact, it'll even tell you, hey, dude, this guy's too hard. We're going to try a little bit, though, because, you know, like, why not? And that's the burst counter right there. When the enemy lights up red like that, that means he's going to hit you with a huge attack, and you can counter it with a burst counter. Right there again, he did it. So we're kind of seeing that this guy hits really hard. So, yeah, it's going to take a while. It's going to see it. Oh, so I got distracted by the note when it showed up there. There's going to be a burst counter for us here. Boom. Now, yeah, I told you, look, you don't have to fight this guy. So, but we're trying. There's another burst counter. I didn't have enough key in my system or enough anima. So your anima is the purple bar underneath, and you need some of that, and you build it up during combat. And you need some of that to, I'm going to take a health. You need some of that in order to attack burst counter. Okay, burst again. I'm trying to talk and concentrate at the same time, but, you know. So you can see, you know, he is he's not joking around. And you can block, like I just did there. That was a bad burst counter because he wasn't near me. But the brute burst counter, again, is the most forgiving. So you obviously want to stay away from the horns. Uh-oh. My controller just turned off. Uh-oh. This is not good. Hi. Hi, controller. Controller. What's happening here? Looks like the game locked up. Oh, he's going to hit me and kill me while my controller is locked. Oh, it's not even hitting me. It's weird. Do this. Oh, there we go. I had to hit my mouse. That was rather unfortunate. Cost me a health. Burst. So if you miss the burst counter, when that attack hits you, it's like huge. Now, to further complicate combat, burst counter. To further complicate combat, or maybe not complicate, but make it great, is you want to perform an attack, and then when all of those white dots that surround you hit you again, it will help your ki regenerate faster. Burst. So without ki, you're powerless. You can't move, you can't attack, you can't really do anything. Okay. We had some bad luck there with the controller turning off in the middle of the fight, which was unfortunate. So we're going to do it again. I think we can get this guy. It's, you know, it's just your dodges have to be on point. So essentially, all of your Amrita. Amrita is, you know, the parallel with what souls are, or runes are in Elden Ring. It's how you level up in the game. Now, this is a helper. If you have a Choco Cups, you can bring the helper along to help you. And that's a strategy. I'm going to run over there and get my stuff. Might as well pick up this on the way too here. Okay, he's obviously on to me, and then I lost sight of him and took 2 hits right from the beginning. Oh, that was terrible. Alright, we're going to do this guy. We're going to do this guy. But like I say, if this is your first forays into it, you can just run past this guy and do the rest of the level. It's not nearly... There's nothing as hard as that guy in the level. Maybe the boss at the end, but by that point you've got a few more levels into your character. Probably have more ki. Now, also, you'll notice in the upper left-hand corner of my character, burst counter. Now, I could have wailed on him more, but I was out of ki. So as a result, he was able to survive the encounter. Anyhow, in the upper left corner, you'll see it says 100 up there. That means my yokai form is ready to come out. So that's like an uber power form, which will help you take care of business. Now, he got staggered there because I knocked his ki all the way off. And I'm doing primarily light attacks. Burst counter. Here, I'll flip to high attacks again. Then flip back to low stance. Primarily, I'm going to probably use for this guy low stance, high stance. Switching. You got to be able to move. Burst count. And I've got him down pretty good, so I'm just gonna hit my buttons and just go into rage mode. And you stay in this mode until that's gone at the top. I'm gonna probably wait another minute or two, but you know. Alright, so my rage meter went down. I don't know what's called a rage meter, but this guy, you're kind of all over the place with the rage. I'm cut in a corner. Didn't work out well for me. Oh, I haven't used a health yet this fight. Really doing a number on this guy. Alright, we got him. Guess I get hit in the head. I'm kind of not fighting him in the smartest place, really, to be fair. Ah! First downer. Boom, 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 boom. And he's dead. So like I say, take a run at him, you know, but don't kill yourself over and over and over on this guy. You're going to be dying a lot in the game anyway, so that's one of the things. It's like if you're coming from a Soulsborne games, you just have to accept the fact that it's going to happen. Now, technically, we could begin the level here, but we're not going to because there's more loots and things to be found back over around here. Okay, so let's go ahead and grab up this, see what we're getting. And we might want to check to see what we got. So the exclamation marks indicate that you got something different, and I always sort by level, so you know we want the highest level stuff at the top. So we didn't get much in the weapon department. Let's see about helmet. Heirloom helmet. We need more stamina. You'll notice it says stamina required 6, and we have not put anything into that. Heirloom cuirass, same thing, stamina 6. So we're pretty much sticking with what we got. Now, in each level, there are kodamas, and the kodamas are the little friendly spirits, and they've lost their way. First, let's always grab the loots. They've lost their way, and we have to guide them back to the shrine. So in this level, I think there are 7 kodama that we have to find. And I forgot to illustrate that it actually shows up on my bar. we got a skill point. So we're going to use it. Here's our weapon. And when I open this up, you're going to see a lot of stuff. So we're going to be, exploring most of this skill tree. It's like crazy mode, man, for each weapon. So we're using a lot of low stance to start out here. I don't really like that skill so much, but I don't like waterfall either. But we have to eventually get to Masterful Guard to parry, to get a parry thing. But let's see. Yeah, we need to get all this stuff going over here. Reaper for sure. Let's get Reaper. Reaper allows you to do that. And then you can see in the little picture there, the little video, just slice and dice. Just get crazy slicing and dicing. All right. So we help the Kodama back. Let's take care of this guy. Now, when it turns red like that, you get a final blow on them, which allows you to finish them off with a big old strong finishing attack, which is always fun. You can also, it's called grapple in this game, where they're still standing. You can do a special attack on them. Okay, so we're going to level up, and let's put another one into... Oh, we got that many levels just from that fight? Yeah, we beat Gozuku. So let's put that to 8, and then we'll pump another one here into dexterity. Just keep the pain train rolling there. So the Kodamas, if you ever are wondering, where are your Kodamas? First of all, we want to receive the Kodama blessing. So we'll get more elixirs that will drop. Eventually, we want the Oracle blessing, which will increase the amount of Amrita that we acquire over time. That's what allows you to level. Yeah. Training we don't need to worry about here. Okay. Let us continue. All right, so every time you rest at a shrine, the enemies respawn. So we can just go in. Wah! So we're getting stoned. I got to start throwing the rocks at people. Oh, we got some more skill points, too. I didn't notice. Let's spend those skill points. So we got 2 in Samurai. So, probably keep pulse low. Earth. We'll go high. We are going to get the middle going as well. So that will just allow us to, our key pulses to work better for us. It's just telling you how to change stances. So we'll go high stance here and just... Okay, now coming up here, you want to be careful. You don't want to just run into that cloud. That cloud means there is a yokai there, or a yoki there. So you want to make sure that you avoid that, at least to get the loots that's over here. So chests are good. We have lots of chests. We got a purple dual uchi katana, which is nice. To get a purple is like the highest level we'll get until we get to like way later. So it's just a chance of what's going to happen. Now, if you hit the key pulse properly, like I just did, that last skill point that we got, you'll notice up on my status bar, I'll do that again, you get an attack buff briefly. So a lot of times you're key pulsing, getting the buff, key pulsing, if I can get it together properly here, and getting the buff, and then the idea is that you just keep getting that buff and reapplying it to yourself, as long as your key pulses are accurate. Now for this guy, it's kind of tough, so I'm going to stay in low stance. These red ones are called Revenants. You can summon them up and fight them. They're basically people who died here. So if that's your thing, you can do that. You'll notice on my radar up in the upper right corner of my screen, there's a green dot. That means there's a Kodama. And you can see him right there. a little guy hiding, but we can't get him from here. There's no jumping up in this game, only jumping down. So a baddie's going to come out of this cloud. So now he hits really hard. So I switched to high mode there so I could knock his horn off. Because when you knock his horn off, you get a bunch of Amrita, it stuns them briefly, and it does a number on their key. So that you can just pound them like this until they're beaten into submission. But then they, of course, they're not going to stay in that position forever. So you got to be on point with your dodges for sure. And as Kusarigama, well, a lot of the different weapons, you're going to want to be able to... Oh, I got greedy. You're going to want to get behind because there's more damage from behind eventually when you work your way through the skill trees. All right, so we got to get back to there to get our Amrita back, which we're going to do. Oh, also when you sprint... When you sprint, it consumes ki. So you see my ki, a green line in the middle going down. That's because I was sprinting. The high stance is a lot slower, especially to get started with Kusarigama, so you got to be careful. So there's our stuff. There's no reason to go back there. The loot doesn't respawn, just the enemies. So you got to come in and grab your stiff. And let's try not to be quite so arrogant at this point. And so I managed to get the horn again. And the high attack uses a lot more ki than the low attack. So the two skills I got, you notice there were two arrows up there. One was for hitting a ki pulse in my light attack, and the other was for hitting the ki pulse in my low attack. I would say one of the hardest things in the game to make the transition between the two, I'm going to die again, between like the Soulsborne games, because there is inevitably compared to the Soulsborne games, is the concept of the ki pulse. Where that block saved my life. So you see in this game, you're not, you're not running straight through easy moding all of the enemies. Got him. All right, now he gave us a soul core. We're going to talk about those eventually as well. Essentially, a soul core gives you yet another type of attack that you can do. So, where in the Soulsborne games, they perfected the idea of timing. Of course, you have your light attack and your heavy attack primarily, and it's all based on reading the opponents with timing. In this game, timing is very important, as you see, but it's also much more intricate in the terms of how you engage in combat with opponents, and the switching between stances is extremely important, and the ki pulse. And again, the hardest thing for me as I was starting in Nioh 1 back in the long ago in the before times, the hardest part was the ki pulse, just getting the ki pulse down. And to be fair, I'm still not great at it, which is probably a good thing to mention here. I'm not great. I'm competent. And if those of you who've seen my videos before know, You know, this is for people to learn the game and not feel like they have to, you know, have lightning fast reflexes all the time. Although, of course, it helps, but you can be successful at this game. All right, we're going to have our first plunge attack here, which, boom, does lots of damage. All right, and different enemies have different... have different strengths. So this guy with the axe, he'll mess you up pretty good.
Yep.
But when he swings that axe, okay, that was the grapple. You get an animation, a special animation if you grapple. The enemy is like a final blow, but the opponent is still vertical until you waste his life. And yeah. And eventually we're going to be getting a skill called Flux, which allows you to, if you key pulse precisely right, you get more ki back, and then Flux 2, when you switch stances on your key pulse, you get even more back. Okay, so we got another Kodama. He's going to go back to the shrine for us. And throughout the level, similar to Dark Souls, there are what would be, you know, parallels with bonfires. There's a shrine. So that's not the shrine we started at. So my key pulsing isn't really on point here because I haven't, what's the word I want? I haven't been getting that buff. Like my problem when I'm doing key pulses, the habit that I have is I'll key pulse too early, and it's got to be timed. It can't be too early. Okay, we can level up. So let's go ahead. What can we get? Maybe 2 levels? We'll see. So we want Dex. Yeah, we can only get 1. Dex is going to be our thing. The things we're going to be dumping into right now are primarily Dexterity, Heart for the key, because you notice when we run out of key, it's not good, and Constitution, which will give us life. So for every regular skill other than Constitution, you will get 10 points of life. But Constitution will be 35 points, and 30, it like varies. But I would suggest if you're just starting out, a spear build might be the way to go, because Constitution is the main stat for spear. So you're simultaneously strengthening your spear and pumping up your health at the same time. Whereas with us, Dexterity, we're only getting 10 in health. So this is something to consider. Okay. All right, I'm gonna keep going, and we got to keep using our stones. How are we doing on time here? We're at 35. You know what? This is probably a good time to end this episode before we start into the village proper. We've gotten our feet wet. We jumped in a little bit. We beat the Gozuku. We took care of our first little well, what do I want to say? Yoki, which was good. Oh, we got a skill point. Let's spend that skill point before we end this episode. And it's in Kusarigama. So we got the Reaper. And I didn't even use Reaper, but you can see what it is there. You just start to just shred someone like a blender. So we'll put Serpent Strike in. We're doing a lot of high stance work at this point. And yeah, okay, so we're going to stop here for this episode. Thanks for tuning in, everybody, and we will see you next time as Bridge Runner 412 plays Nioh 2.